These are some frequently asked questions about rulemaking appeals to the governor of California. When and why does a regulatory agency appeal certain decisions to the governor's office? Now, the last time this occurred was actually in 2007, but a state agency can appeal the rejection of a regulation by the Office of Administrative Law to the governor's office. What must OAL do with a regulation that has been submitted to it? OAL must either approve a regulation submitted for review and transmit it to the Secretary of State for filing, or OAL must disapprove it within 30 working days after that regulation has been submitted to OAL. What's the basis for OAL to disapprove a regulation? A regulation cannot be disapproved by OAL unless the regulation failed to comply with one or more of the six statutory standards of review or some other provision of the Administrative Procedure Act, which is contained in California's Government Code. Can OAL's decision be reviewed? Yes. First, the adopting agency must file a written request for review with the governor's legal affairs secretary, and that must occur within 10 days of receipt of the written opinion provided by OAL specifying its reasons for disapproving the regulation. What must the appeal contain? That request for review must include a complete statement along with other specified materials as to why the adopting agency believes that the decision by OAL is incorrect and why it should be overruled. What must OAL do? OAL then files its written response with the governor's office, and specifically, OAL must file its written response to the adopting agency's request with the governor's legal affairs secretary, and that must occur within 10 days. And OAL must deliver a copy of its response to the agency on the same day that OAL has delivered it to the governor's office. Now, what must the governor's office do? The Gov's office must provide the requesting agency and OAL with a written decision within 15 days of its receipt of the response from OAL to that agency's request for review to the governor's office. And what happens if the governor overturns OAL's rejection? Well, if the governor overrules OAL's decision to disapprove a rulemaking, then OAL is required to immediately transmit the adopted regulation to the Secretary of State for filing. And after that, the governor must also immediately transmit to the rules committees of both the Assembly and the Senate with a statement of his or her reasons for overruling the decision of OAL to overturn or disapprove that regulation.